Hi, I'm Kay. I'm the creator of Soulfire Rising. Today in our breathwork practice, we're going to be focused on a breathwork called Agni Sara. We'll do a few preparatory breaths to get into this breathwork practice, but I'll teach you how to do this. So Agni Sara means fanning the flame. It's a really great practice to help stoke your inner fire. If you have any heart issues, any hernias, any high or low blood pressure issues, then I highly recommend not doing this practice. If you're pregnant, we'll be pumping the belly. So this is really not good if you've got any belly issues going on right now, any pulled muscles, anything like that. If you've got an upper respiratory infection or any glaucoma, pressure in the head or ears, again, not going to be a great practice for you. But it's all up to you, and do what feels good in your body. You know your body best, so you have full agency over your body. So to begin, we'll start by finding a comfortable seat. So you can sit in a chair, you sit on a cushion, whatever feels good for you. We're going to practice first with deep belly breathing. So once you find that comfortable place, find a place where your spine aligns. You'll notice when you've hit that place when your breath flows freely. So breath is a really good practice for helping you move energy. And with breath, you can contemplate the energy a little bit more because you're not in activity with the body. A lot of the time, if you're in activity with the body will move the energy. With the breath, you're in control, and your mind is here to process and kind of be with the breath. So it's a really interesting practice of attaching and detaching the mind without the body. And I know for myself, a lot of the time, if I'm just doing body work and body practices like flow and movement, I tend to miss valuable nuggets. So the breath can offer this place where we can contemplate a little bit deeper. So this is why I love the breath. So begin to find that place where you can feel fully expanded on every inhale. And if you're struggling, if you feel like you're fighting for your inhale, focus on that exhale. The exhale will bring you to a place where your body will respond with an inhale, and that can feel a lot more freeing. You can put your hands on your ribs to feel the breath fill the ribs up to the sides. Relax your shoulders. Really fill up. Nice. If you know the ocean sounding breath, you can layer that on. So that's like fogging up the mirror. It's activating the back of your throat. That's what it sounds like. So you can layer that on now. And if you don't have that yet, no worries. Just focus on your breath. So the pumping we'll be doing will be strictly on our breath, and we'll be in a breath hold. So if you're not comfortable holding your breath, or it makes you feel claustrophobic or anything like that, then just stay with this breath. I know sometimes it can just be really nice, even if people are doing different things than you, it can be really nice to be in community and just breathing with people. So please at any point feel free to come back to this breath, this deep belly breathing, expanding out into your lungs and into your belly. Maybe even letting the breath fill up right underneath the collarbone. Really feel that expansion. The more we can feel that expansion and the more air we can give to that fire when we start fanning our flame, it'll be that much richer. And if you are going to stay with this breath, or if you have to come back to this breath at any point, just the big belly, deep breathing, then I want you to just imagine that flame, like fanning your inner flame. Just bring an awareness, bring a vision of a candle or your favorite flame to your mind's eye, and just imagine that is your flame and your fire is growing and growing. And even if you're doing Agni Sara with me, that's a really great image to have in mind as you do it. Like you are pumping the flame. On your next exhale, we're going to practice a 2-second hold. So exhale fully and release. Inhale fully. Hold at the top for just a heartbeat, and then relax. Go back to your normal breath. So we'll do that a few more times, just holding our breath for a few heartbeats. Because if you struggle with holding the breath, you're going to want to back up from Agni Sara. So I know for me, holding the breath can quickly stimulate an elevation in my energy. Sometimes it can make you feel lightheaded, so it's really important to do this sitting down. And for Agni Sara, we'll actually be on our back, so that way you're getting the full process of the breath, and you're really feeling that fullness. So on your next exhale, we'll practice holding for another heartbeat. And inhale fully. Hold at the top for a heartbeat and relax. Going back to your regular breathing pattern. So again, now just feel in your body, notice how this feels. If you feel dizzy or elevated, any feeling that is not good, then hold off from this one, especially since we're online here. And, if you're in a facilitation with a class or in a group, or if you come to one of my live experiences, then, you can go deeper. But when you're home and you're practicing alone or by yourself, it's really good to be cautious. Always err on the side of caution and just keep yourself feeling good. Or grab a friend and make sure you have a breathing buddy. Breathing buddies are awesome. I like to even sometimes, if I'm practicing breath work at home, I'll call one of my mentors or friends or a partner and I'll say, hey, I'm doing breath work right now. And it's just it's a good place for someone to check in on you and all these things if you feel like you want to do it. But like I said, I think it's way better done in a cautious setting. And if you're just conscious of your feelings and you're constantly checking in with how you feel, then you can't go wrong because your body is going to tell you when to stop. So really just be with the feelings and notice when you don't feel full of life. And then just come back to normal breathing. Let go of the breath and let it all release. So now we'll go onto our back and I'll demonstrate Agni Sara for you. So we'll lay on our back, and you can bring your knees in to touch if that feels good, or you can just let your knees point up to the ceiling. So Agni Sara is a pumping of the belly on the exhale. So the breath will be empty. Your lower back is going to round to the ground when you empty. And then from there, that's when you pump. And you're just pulling your belly button back in toward your spine. And it's really challenging to do Agni Sara, in my opinion, like this, but it's really good to make sure you're really pulsing instead of moving your back. So you'll often find folks who pump kind of like this, which you're taking away from the really, the proper form of stoking, right? And it's kind of like, you could have one of those pumpers, right? Fanning the flame. Or you could be doing this. This one's a lot more energy and it's not really getting a lot of effect. But if you have a specific pumper, one of those air feeders toward a fire, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. So just so you can see it, I'll demonstrate it on my knees first, but we will be on our backs. So you'll inhale fully. You'll exhale completely. Belly button draws in. And then you'll let your belly go. And you'll pulse. So it's almost like pulling the belly button in. Like if someone was to poke you in the belly, like the Pillsbury Doughboy, and you pull your tummy in. That's what you're doing. So again, this is why it's not great. If you've got anything going on with your belly or you're pregnant, really, really not great. If you're on your cycle, it's not going to feel great. So this is really for that active part. This is for like the clearing out of the energy. So this will elevate you, and if it elevates you too much, you can always slow down the pace. So know that pace and the breath hold. Those are the two things that you can end at any time. So maybe you only do one pump. And when I'm demonstrating it, that's how we'll do it. We'll do it 1 or 2 pumps to start. We'll relax. We'll release all breath and go back to normal breathing. Then we'll take a big breath, exhale fully, pump twice, and then go back to normal breath. And then I'll have an option for you to do 10 pumps with me twice. And that will end our breathwork session. So, assume your position on your back and get started. So find your normal breath, fill your lungs up. Exhale completely. A few more times like that. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale fully. Nice and deep, fill up. Exhale completely. You can exhale out the mouth. Hold the breath at the bottom and pump the belly in. And release. Go back to normal breath and just notice how you feel right now. So if you feel lightheaded, nauseous, anything like that, I want you to take a pause right now and take care of yourself and just put this one down for today. You can always come back to these recordings. You can always come back to attempting this breath. You don't have to do it right now. There are many other ways you can do the movement practice to stoke your fire instead of this. There are lots of other ways to do this, but if this is feeling really good and you want to go again, we're going to do 2 pumps. The belly's going to draw in twice. On your exhale, lower back's going to go into the ground and then pump, pump, and then release. So inhale, full exhale, lower back down, and pump, and release. Okay, check in, scan your body. How do you feel? Do you feel the elevation of energy? Can you feel that fire being stoked? Does it feel good? As if it does feel good and you want to go a little bit further, we're going to do 10 pumps with the exhale. And we'll do that twice. If it doesn't feel good, go back to your normal breath. You can put your hands on your belly. Just be with yourself here. Imagine, visualize that flame and the fanning of the fire. Just imagine it. And another good thing to note is if you have eaten in the last 30 minutes to an hour, it's probably not the best practice for you right now. And you probably are, just from practicing it, you can probably feel it. So I would pause and, and come back to this when you have an empty belly. Before we do our pumps together, just take a few moments to see that flame, feel that flame, your inner flame. And just imagine that flame growing as you practice this breath. Inhale fully, we'll go for 10. Exhale completely, lower back to the ground. You can even put your hands on your legs. We're going to pump. 5, 2, 1. And release back to normal breathing. So right now, really important, check in how you feel. If you feel too elevated, slow down, maybe try 5 pumps. Or go slower with the breath. Or maybe just 1, 2 pump and release. Or again, maybe going back to the visualization. Less is always more. Really, truly is. There is no competition with anybody or anything. Like just being here, being in this container right now, you're stoking your fire. So go you. If you're ready and you want to do one more round with me, Agni Sara, inhale fully. Exhale completely. Get that lower back on the ground. Exhale, exhale, and pump. 5 more. And inhale, release. So you don't have to judge yourself either. Just let yourself feel this. And if you feel like you kind of messed it up or you didn't do it right, whatever, let it go. Let it go. Just focus on this beautiful, fiery energy circling in your body. If you're feeling, again, too elevated, if you're feeling like the energy is just really rising, I want you to imagine rooting down, growing roots beneath you into the ground and letting any extra energy just dissipate into the ground below you. Feel supported by the earth. Take take a few clearing breaths, exhaling through the mouth. And then just take a moment, relax every part of your body here on the ground. Just shake out your body. So wiggle all your parts. And feel the dissipation of any extra things that might be hanging on. And when you're ready, slowly roll on one side to bring yourself back up to sit, and we'll close together. So you can repeat that if you'd like. If this is your first time doing it, I really, really encourage you to stay with a lower count and go slow and really moderate your breath, especially if you're alone. And if you really enjoy practices like this, I recommend going either to a yoga studio or a breathwork facilitation center. Playing around with the breath is really fun. And as long as we're doing it safely and with intention, it can be really powerful. So if you're ever going into more than what we're doing today, just short, concise, little pieces of breath work, and you don't have anyone else around you, I highly recommend staying and keeping that way. Stay with the low, slow, gentle, something that you know that's not going to overstimulate you. And then, push the boundaries when you're live with a breathwork practitioner or a somatic healer or anybody who really understands the breath. That's when you can push your breathwork practice. But if you're alone, really just always staying in your body and with yourself, slow, low, calming breath. And again, if anything ever gets too elevating, go back to slow, low breathing, focusing on your exhale. So let's do that a few times. Focus on the exhale. Empty out fully. And then bring your breath to an even 5-second inhale. I'll count for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a 5-second exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So continue like this for a few rounds. That cadence on the inhale, and the cadence on the exhale to recalibrate your breath. Notice what's coming up for you in your body. And this might be a good time to grab a journal or to just be and sit with your body, or maybe go for a nature walk. Whatever feels most rejuvenating for you. Thank you for joining me for today's breathwork session and stoking your inner fire. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.